LoreWarrior Extended, BJ2-0 Blackjack. Overview. Luthien Armour Works received a license to manufacture the Blackjack from Ceres Metalworks in the St. Ives Compact, as part of the Combine's newly implemented technology exchange program. The Draconis Combine manufacturer began producing the design it received for the BJ2 version, but only a few examples of this mech rolled off the assembly line before plant executives ended production and retooled the line to manufacture the Omnimech version. The BJ2 Omni version of the Blackjack was the first Omnimech design exported for manufacturing, in this case to Irian Battlemechs Unlimited. Though this level of technological exchange seems remarkably enlightened, many claimed at the time that the DCMS was only allowing monkey versions of their Omnimech technology to be exported. This claim is supported by the fact that the exported plans called for weapons bays that could only accept DCMS standard connections, while the Omnimechs actually being fielded by the Draconis Combine had connectors that allowed them to use captured clan weapons and ammunition. The DCMS claimed that the Blackjack was rushed into production before the manufacturers had perfected the necessary complex software interfaces. Without these interfaces, inner-sphere targeting and fire control systems couldn't interact with clan weaponry. Therefore, fitting the exported Blackjacks with extra connections would have been a waste of time and money. This problem has been resolved in current production models, and all earlier versions of the Blackjack are routinely upgraded during their first major overhaul. Nevertheless, the incident placed great strain on the relationship between the Combine and the other great houses. Capabilities. The Blackjack can carry an impressive 26.5 ton of weapons and sensors, as much or more than many heavy mechs. Its jump jets also make the Blackjack a maneuverable and dangerous opponent. In its primary configuration, this mech is a deadly infighter. 4 medium lasers and 2 ultra-auto cannons can throw out a barrage of energy beams and hypervelocity slugs that few enemy can withstand. As with other Omnimech designs, the Blackjack's alternate configurations reflect the needs of specific missions. Because the Blackjack is being deployed primarily with Free Worlds League and Compelling Confederation units in mind, the alternative configurations don't include any enhanced targeting, electronics, or command and control systems. Specifically, the Free Worlds League armed forces appear to have decided that the additional space taken up by these devices can be put to better use, increasing the mech's raw firepower. Deployment. The Free Worlds League and Compelling Confederation field the majority of the existing Blackjack Omnimech units. Ceres Metalworks is reported to have converted a standard Blackjack production line to produce this Omnimech version, and has begun manufacturing modular Blackjacks for the St. Ives Compact and to the Federated Commonwealth. 3058 Upgrade. Overview. After suffering horrendous losses of materiel and resources in the devastating attacks on Luthien during the opening stages of the Jihad, LAW offered the entire engineering and design protocols of the Blackjack Omnimech to its 2 design partners, Ceres Metalworks and IBMU. Ceres Metalworks declined the offer, preferring instead to accept a production license from IBMU, who bought the entire package after brief negotiations. Since early '68, IBMU have been producing record numbers of the Blackjack Omni series, adjusting the electronic hookups and modules to fit most League weapons components. Not surprisingly, most maintenance on the newer models require IBMU certified parts. Capabilities. Loaded with an impressive 26.5 tons of pod space and sporting a fixed jump jet system, the Blackjack 2 Omni series has become very popular amongst loyal League forces. Several common configurations are offered by IBMU, though the ones utilizing League equipment are the most popular, despite rumors that the ones using older LAW equipment are being phased out due to incompatibility with the interface. The newest known configurations are straight from the Duchy of Orienta. The E variant sports a light Gauss rifle and an LRM-10 pack of missiles. Coupled with an ER large laser, this deadly variant has become a favourite with Hussar warriors, who enjoy finding high ground and sniping enemy formations from a great distance. The F configuration mounts a lethal combination of an ER PPC and an Ultra AC-10, with 2 ER medium lasers and an ER small added for close combat situations. Deployment. Reeling from financial disaster as it saw facility after facility fall to capture or outright destruction to both Black Dragon and Word of Blake forces, LAW began selling off select Omni design rights and engineering plans in order to salvage the company's future. Produced in record numbers at IBMU facilities, a large quantity of Blackjacks can be found scattered among the larger provincial armies of the Fracturing League. Ceres Metalworks has continued to produce a limited quantity of Blackjack Omnis, with most of their production heading to Capellan units along the Federated Suns front. Notable mech warriors: Adept 3 Norris Anderson. Once a force commander with the 3rd Oriental Hussars, Adept Anderson is currently wanted for murder and the theft of League property after he savagely attacked the Hussar command post during a routine nighttime patrol, killing Colonel Teresa Matthews as she arrived for the morning staff meeting. Leaving the Hussars in chaos, he departed, along with a substantial portion of the 2nd Van Diemen Greenjackets. Anderson was later seen in service, to the word of Blake, during the savage fighting on Pleone, which saw the end of Little Richard's Panzer Brigade. George Grimjack Theophilus. A small-time pirate, Grimjack is the nominal head of the band known as the Glorious, one of the 3 plaguing the worlds of the Rimworld commonality. He and his band are enjoying tormenting the overstretched 8th Orloff Grenadiers. The rumour has it that the mysterious coterie are getting involved in reprisals against these pirate marauders. Also, breaking out from this, word of Blake, kiss my rotund ass, the idea that they killed Little Richard's Panzer Brigade. Fuck off. Anyway, of course Word of Blake had to. Mass, 50 tons, chassis endo steel, power plant 200XL, cruise of 43, max of 65 kph with 4 jump jets for a jump capacity of 120 metres. Armour is standard, armaments 26.5 tons of pod space, with manufacturer of Luthien Arm Works in Irian Battlemechs All Limited, or IBMU. Primary factory on Luthien, communications and targeting are unknown. Go over to the other technical readout and it's massive 50 tons. Chassis is the Alshane 50 endo steel with a power plant of a 200 Nissan XL Fusion, with cruise of 43 and max of 65 with jump jets of Icarus standard, jump capacity 120 metres with the armour by the Mitchell Argon standard. Armament is 26.5 tons of pod space, manufactured by Luthien Armour Works Omnimech production facility, Irian Battlemechs Unlimited, primary factory on Luthien, LAW and Irian IBMU Free Worlds League. Communication system is the Cypher Security Plus SSP. Targeting and tracking is the Matabushi Sentinel. The Blackjack Omnimech, yes, sorry. Exciting there because it was trying to read all that first time fresh. So, 9 armour on the head, 22 on the CT, 9 on the rear, 18 on both side torsos with 6 on the rear of both, and 14 on the arms and 18 on the legs. The mech is equipped with a number of configurations. Obviously, I'm just going from the later TRO because it has obviously a lot of the later configurations there, but the original is a pair of Ultra 5s, both in the arm, like the classic Blackjack, with the medium lasers being located in the arms and the torsos. It's got 20 rounds of fire for each of the Ultras. A good mention here, there's also a pair of machine guns on this, in the left torso and right torso, so it actually has some short-range firepower as well. Alternate configuration A is actually pretty nasty. 2 LRM-20s backed by a pair of medium lasers and a small. The LRMs are in the arm, and the medium lasers are in the side torsos, with the CT having the small laser. Configuration B is an LRM-10 with Artemis fire control in the right arm, and along with the ammunition, 24 rounds worth, the Gauss rifle in the left arm, and a small laser in the right torso. It's got 16 rounds of Gauss and a C3 slave unit. The C configuration is also quite a bruiser. Pair of LB-10s, one in each arm, with 10 rounds each of fire, and a pair of medium lasers in the left and right torsos, one each, and a small laser in the CT. Yeah, when I say a pair, I mean as in one medium laser in each side torso. Delta configuration has 2 large lasers in the right arm, a PPC in the left arm, 2 medium pulses, one in the left arm, one in the left torso, and then further two medium lasers in the left torso and a small in the CT. All energy. Whew, that thing's hot. The E configuration is the light Gauss rifle, which is one that was mentioned in the write-up in the right arm, with 32 rounds of fire. Remember, light Gauss don't do as much damage. It has an ER large laser in the left arm, an LRM-10 in the left arm with 24 rounds of fire, and a ER small in the CT. And finally, we have the Ultra 10 version in the right arm with 20 rounds of fire, a pair of ER mediums, 2 extra double heat sinks in the left arm, and finally an ER PPC in the left torso and an ER small in the CT. Also, as I mentioned, it has 20 heat dissipation from 10 double heat sinks provided. It's a chunky looking boy as well. I'm not enamored with this, personally. It's not what I like, visually speaking. It's got some great builds on it, don't get me wrong. This is the great thing about Omnimechs, isn't it? Just like the clans. Unlike a standard battle mech where you go, well, this is the build of it, and this is its intended role. The great thing about an Omnimech in a sphere or clan is the ability to go, What do I need for the mission? Right, this is the package we're going to take. A Blackjack that's traditionally seen as a city fighter, for instance, is now capable of being a fire support model, element 20s, Gauss rifles, LB10s, all these kind of things that you can suddenly bring into the field and have a completely different experience. This is the draw of, obviously, Omnimech technology. That's the main takeaway, is that these things were supposed to supplant bottlenecks. Obviously, it doesn't get that point because of certain later developments. But I liked the way that, Omnimech technology kind of seeped in to the Inner Sphere. Obviously, I was like getting hold of clan stuff and trying to retroactively build their own, and they weren't quite as good as the clan ones, but they were decent. They were pretty good. And some great mechs came out of this thing. Later on, you get things like the Sunder and that, which are fantastic. But it's not pretty looking by any stands, at least in my opinion. Don't take from me. I'm not the be all and end all of this thing. You like it, you go for it. I would happily dump a couple of Blackjack Omnis down on the table, ready to duke it out with some players, or to reward a player with something like this, because it's just a cool looking mech in the sense of its build, and yeah, quite frightening on paper. But yeah, Dwayne Luce again, just taking the original artwork that was provided. No shooting in this one. The original book, which you see is the coloured image, has obviously the guns blazing, but in his redraw, he took out the burning barrels. I don't know why. It was quite nice with that, actually. I prefer the coloured artwork to the line, but whatever. Anyway, I've rambled on there. I do apologise if I took anyone out at the moment with reading it, but as soon as I read something about the Jihad or Word Blake, or the death of Little Richard's Panzer Brigade at the hand of these assholes, if it had been anyone else, if Little Richard's got wiped out by another merc company, or they got wiped out by a great house, fine. That's okay. Even clans wiping out a merc unit, I'm alright with, except for the Blue Stars. They didn't need to get killed by J Falcon. But either way, mercs are kind of like some of the most interesting elements of the universe, and just writing them off to be killed by such a slack-jawed yokel group of a villain like the fucking Word of Blake is just pants-shittingly bad, and whoever came up with it should feel bad for writing it. And if you're listening to this, put a comment. Fucking say. Explain your reasoning. Why? Why did you have to kill off one of the merc units? What benefit did it give? What would it do for the universe? Just killing them off for no good reason. Poor fuckers. Anyway, I've rambled on. Bye. See ya. Bye-bye.